there for Mitchelton Scott. She's got a teammate Lucy Kennedy in this group as well. Hannah Barnes starts to move up as well to help Kasia Nuadoma with 41 on her back. So the two riders now will come together and start to have a little chat. What is going to be their game plan today? Both riders in very, very good form indeed. Hannah Barnes taking a second place on the stage of the Giro Rosa just a couple of weeks ago. Kasia Nuadoma was second in the overall general classification and 7th at the World Championship. So what can the 26-year-old do? From the 133 riders who started this race today, we have around 25 left in this front group who will be vying for victory today atop of the Mer de Huy. And the pace has been on all day. There's never been a respite as we start to make our way back into the old city. City that has hosted the Tour de France on numerous occasions. But as we wind down these Belgian roads, down the descent now, a few gaps starting to open in this front group. Kasia Nuadoma in third wheel there, trying to get as low an aero as possible. Exceptional descender is Kasia Nuadoma, the former Polish road race champion. And as we take a look over this old Belgian city, has a 1,000-year-old reputation based on its artisanal skills, as well as its industrial and commercial expertise. You can see the industrial part of Huy. But now we have Demi Vollering coming to the front, the rider who was 5th last year here in Flèche Wallonne. Her two teammates, Nancy Vandenberg and Anushka Costa, struggled with the pace on the Côte de Chemin de Gauss. She wants to try and stay out as much trouble as possible with 3.9 kilometers of racing remaining. What can the young Dutch rider do in the opening of the Ardennes Classics for 2020? She just swings off the front, wants to take a look what's further down the line, slot herself back in. Cecilia Uttrup Ludwig in 4th place at the minute behind Kasia Nuadoma. How will that big chase after the bike change affected her race today? What has she got left in the legs? As we can see, Floortje Mikhailov, Team Sunweb, in the white jersey with the black E's on the shoulders, just speaking into her radio. Former winner of Gent-Wevelgem a few years ago. 3.1 kilometers remaining of this race. Amy Pieters still on the front doing all the work for Anna van der Breggen. And Chantal van den Broek-Black just drops back a little bit now to start to bring van der Breggen up towards the front. Keep their world champion out of trouble and give her a good lead into the bottom of the Mer de Huy. We have a very wide road that leads into the bottom of the climb, but then it's only around a car width wide, so want to go in with the best position as possible. But a rider who's been very quiet so far is Marianne Vos, a former world champion, a former winner of this race 5 times, in the orange jersey and the orange helmet with number 21 on her back. Van den Broek-Black just taking a look across the group to see where other riders are. She'll be wondering where the likes of Vos and Cecilia Uttrup Ludwig are. Grace Brown on the front now for Mitchelton Scott, 28-year-old from Australia, having an incredible season, a real breakthrough season for the young rider. finished 5th in the individual time trial World Championships on Thursday, so really having a step up this year. She'll be doing her lead-out expertise for Lucy Kennedy. Kennedy, another Australian, 32 years of age, comes from Brisbane. A two-time winner of the Herald Sun Tour over in Australia. Jana Lippert in the blue Young Riders jersey, denoting that she's the leader of the UCI Women's World Tour Young Riders jersey. She's got Floortje Mackaij doing all the work on the front for her here. She had an exceptional result at the World Championships, but still Amy Pieters on the front for Boels Dolmans. Chantal van den Broek-Black now starting to move up with Van der Breggen on her wheel. Well, this is great teamwork from the Dutch team. They don't want to ruin the winning streak they've had over the last 5 years with Anna van der Breggen, but just look, the pace is too much for Lucy Kennedy after that lead out from Grace Brown. She's struggling with this pace set by Amy Pieters. 1.2 kilometres remaining as the gradient starts to go up now, and we see the Flamme Rouge. Flamme Rouge denoting 1 kilometre of racing remaining as we start the Mer de Huy now. Hannah Barnes there for Canyon SRAM, former British champion. Lucy Kennedy just wanting to move back up, but Hannah Barnes setting the pace at the front of this group, and Anna van der Breggen and Elisa Longo Borghini in her wheel. Vos now starts to move up towards the front here in the orange jersey. Cecilia Trup-Ludwig as well with number 61 on her back for Francis de Jeux, Nouvelle Aquitaine. 800 metres remaining of the 23rd edition of Flèche Wallonne. But that's the job done for today for Amy Pieters and Chantal van den Broek-Black. They'll await the results at the top of this climb. How has their efforts been able to help Anna van der Breggen? But Marta Cavalli struggling with the pace on this climb, and Hannah Barnes, her job for today is done. She's dropped off Kasia Nieuwedoma towards the front. Lizzie Deignan looking very focused and poised indeed. Elisa Longo Borghini in second, but it's Van der Breggen wanting to set the pace. The newly crowned world champion with 665 metres remaining. Elisa Longo Borghini on the wheel of Van der Breggen. And just look at how they've split this group now. Lauren Stevens of Team Tivco Silicon Valley Bank just struggling with the pace towards the back of this group. But Van der Breggen still in the saddle, keeping a nice rhythm, turning 560 metres remaining. Demi Vollering starting to struggle with this pace. Lizzie Deignan wanting to try and get back on terms as they get towards the steepest part of this climb. Van der Breggen looking very calm and focused indeed, wanting to try and set the pace, control the front of the race here. Is Vollering going on the right hand side, trying to challenge Van der Breggen. Can Demi Vollering take the victory today in the 23rd edition of Flèche Wallonne to improve on her 5th position from last year? Cecilia Trup-Ludwig, what has she got left after that mechanical earlier on? Van der Breggen still in the saddle. She's not yet got out of the saddle to really put down the pressure, but just look at this. Lizzie Deignan in the back in the magenta jersey, trying to come back here for the Trek Segafredo team. Demi Vollering starting to go early now. And you can hear the pain in the riders right now. There's no crowds allowed on the finish here, so no shouts and cheers to drown out the pain in the legs. But it's head to head now with Vollering and Anna van der Breggen. Can Van der Breggen make it 6 in a row? She's won the last 5 years, but now the sprint starts to open up. What has Vollering got left? Cecilia Trup-Ludwig in the middle for Francis de Jeux, Nouvelle Aquitaine, trying to get back on terms, but what has she got left after that mechanical earlier on? Van der Breggen with 100 metres to go, starts to open it up. Can she make it 6 in a row? In the world champion Rainbow Bands, Anna van der Breggen of the Boels Dolmans cycling team makes it 6 in a row and wins Flèche Wallonne firm atop of the Mer touches the air. Cecilie Uttrup Ludwig second, and Demi Vollering of the Park Hotel Valkenburg taking the third. After a long battle alongside the world champion. 3 hours 17 minutes of racing, 124 kilometres with an average of 37.7 kilometres. As we see the riders coming across the group line, Grace Brown of Mitchelton Scott, followed by Lucy Kennedy. By my reckoning, that makes it the fastest edition of Flèche Wallonne ever recorded. As you can see, the effort from Anna van der Breggen. After her 6th victory of Flèche Wallonne, atop of the Murder-Wee, making history, the first rider to win 6 times. And how impressive, 6 times in a row, as she gets help from her soigneur. But you can just see how hard that climb was, and the effort from Marianne Vos there. Draped over her bike. And Floortje Mackaij did a superb job there for Liana Lippert. As we get a recap of the finish. Van der Breggen, the first time she got out the saddle was with 100 metres to go. Takes a little look behind, she sees Cecilie Uttrup Ludwig trying to get back on terms with the world champion and Olympic champion, but Van der Breggen, little smile coming through there, I think, knowing that she's going to take her 6th victory at Flèche Wallonne, the opening of this year's Ardennes Classics. It really is Anna